Hello QPR fans and Players TV, home and away. Got another exclusive ex-player interview this evening with the one and only Sir Les Ferdinand. Thank you very much, Les, for joining me.
Good.
Before you do the fans forum tonight, just a few questions on your QPR playing career, etc. and so forth. We'll crack on because I know we've got the fans forum coming up at 7 PM. When growing up as a boy, what team did you support or follow?
That's not really about my career at QPR, is it? But now, when it's been well documented. When I was growing up, I've got a cousin who was 2 weeks older than me. He was a big Liverpool fan and sort of like used to have the kit and all that. Nice. So I'm not supporting anyone outside of London. I'm a sports someone inside London. And because I was an armchair fan, I suppose Tottenham were probably the glamour club at the time in the capital. So I ended up sort of like following them. And sort of like, I used to say I was a Tottenham fan.
No worries. Next question. What year did you join QPR?
I joined QPR in 1987. Sort of like doing painting and decorating, playing for non-league Hayes, and got spotted that.
Did you paint the club?
It's true. Back in the day, I was lucky. I didn't have to do an apprenticeship, so I didn't have to paint the stands.
No worries. Thanks for that. What team did you make your debut for QPR against?
I think I made my debut. Wow. Good question. I think in 87, probably Nottingham Forest. I came on as a sub against Nottingham Forest. We lost 3-1. It was the year they won the FA Cup.
Okay.
And I think that was my debut year.
No worries. And obviously, next question being, who did you score your first QPR goal against?
Whoa! Unforgettable.
Yeah, against Chelsea, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Got a couple of brace on the day.
Right. Next question. What's the most memorable game you have played in whilst playing for QPR? Obviously, I'm sure there's a few, but any standout ones?
Yeah, straight away I go to sort of like, I think it was the Liverpool game here, and I think I missed a couple of games through suspension, and I think we beat Liverpool here and scored the winning goal, and Jerry resigned after that. That's probably
my birthday. That was.
Was it?
Halloween.
Okay, mate. Next question. Who was your roommate on QPR away games? Obviously, you must have had a few, but did you have one in particular, or like, was it just random? You pick or whatever, or did you have anyone in particular because you got on really better than some of the other players?
So originally, when I first started playing, travelling with the first team, it was Danny Maddox, and then Danny kind of I was in and out the side, and so Danny kind of like roomed up got shacked up with someone else, and because he was travelling on a more regular basis than me. Yeah. And then when I got back into the side and started travelling on a regular basis, I became pals with Clive Wilson. So for the rest of the period, Clive Wilson.
What was he like to room with? Was he?
He's all right. He used to make.
So you had plenty of stories.
He used to make the tea.
Yeah, he's a good old cup of tea.
And the one thing he used to say to me, like Clive was like, he was a late sleeper. He always used to go to sleep late, and always used to get in bed and we'd talk, and then we'd be having a conversation. And he used to go, bloody hell, he said, I was talking to you, and the next thing I asked you a question, and that was it, nothing. Like, I'd be gone like.
Cool. What was it like playing at Loftus Road when it's a full house or half a full house?
It's full house was always probably the best atmosphere anywhere.
Can't beat it, to be honest. I mean, I know it held 27 back in the day, but obviously now it's just under 20. Yeah. But when it's full and we're playing well and winning,
it's one of those intimidating grounds for most of the opposition. And on those nights where the team really got behind the players, you could feel it was like electric out there. So it was.
And obviously being so close as well to the pitch, which helps. You know what I mean? Like the newer grounds now. I mean, obviously I know like with the ground situation we've got to move away and stuff, but. I'd rather stay here, but that's just my own personal opinion. Next question, just a couple more. Do you keep in contact with any of your ex-teammates from your playing days whilst at QPR before social media, and obviously now with social media?
Well, social media I'm not on, so I don't keep in contact. The only thing I'm on is WhatsApp, so I don't really keep. I don't sort of like contact anyone through social media as such. Clive Wilson, who was one of my best mates when he was here, he's godfather to my daughter. I'm godfather to his daughter, so. We're always in touch with her, so he's probably the one player I keep in touch with more than
obviously the social media thing's exploded, but obviously players you can use,
to keep in touch with people.
If you ain't got their phone numbers or we've lost contact, drifted away, whatever, due to different issues and stuff. Yeah. Okay, cool. What teammate had the worst dress sense at QPR? Or teammates, possibly?
Teammates? I'll tell you who used to get. He was a bit out there. Carl Reddy. Used to be a bit out there in terms of his clobber, and I think he was at one stage he was going to go into fashion designing.
Oh,
So
right, cool.
he used to come up with all these bits and pieces that he used to wear, and so yeah, I don't know if he was the worst. He was just the most eccentric.
Okay, yeah. He kind of come across that way even as a player. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, the way he looked and stuff, maybe he looked a bit
Yeah,
off the cuff kind of thing. As in,
exactly. So
compared to yourself, who looked kind of slick, and you know what I mean. Just cut them all, mate. Obviously, we had the game for Grenfell down here. Obviously, it meant a lot to myself from used to live around the corner from the Tower Block, and I know yourself, you'd actually lived on Barrington.
Yeah.
Obviously, hats off to the club and to yourselves and everyone who worked at the club to get it on. I mean, for yourself, how did you feel? Because obviously living in Barrington for whatever amount of time it was, obviously I don't know whether you knew people who lived within the estate or in the Tower Block itself.
you certainly did.
And obviously seeing the game come to fruition through, like, you know, yourselves and the team at the club, it's even now it's a tingling thing inside me, because it's made me feel proud even more than the club already. But yourself, obviously, from living around there and knowing people, stuff like that.
I mean, I couldn't be prouder of the club and what they did. What Paul and Towles and the rest of the staff did, Claire and everybody did in the space of a few weeks.
Yeah, because it's short time. It was like to get everything organised must have been mental. It
takes
like,
usually that sort of thing usually takes a year and a half to put together, and to see everybody come together and do what they did. We've always talked about being a community club, but on that particular
that's topped it. I think, to be honest, I mean, I know other clubs got involved, but from our point, we're the nearest club to the estate and the community, I suppose. But yeah, I think that just topped it. It just showed that
everybody showed what a community club is.
And then obviously the day itself was great. I mean, you know, it was a good laugh. And
when we planned it, I think if every single one of us had gone to bed and had a dream about it, it would have gone the way it went.
Yeah.
It couldn't have gone any better, apart from me getting injured. Apart from me pulling my Achilles, it couldn't have gone. And even that didn't dampen the day. Do you know what I mean? It was, it was fantastic. And walking away from it, and then going into the local community and seeing people, you know, from Harlesden and Labrador and walking around, and people saying to me, I don't go to football matches.
I mean, obviously the club still continue to help, you know, do stuff, which is great. I mean, I'm sure they will do. I mean, you know, there'll always be, because as you say, community club. I mean, you know, obviously, no, you ain't going to forget that kind of thing, to be honest with you. But thanks for that anyway, mate. I appreciate that from myself personally. Obviously, used to live around there and stuff. Just one last question: can you give us an overall summary of your time spent playing for QPR, to me and to the fans?
Oh well, it was probably the most joyous part of my career. You know, people often say to me, "Oh, you played for England. How many times you played for England?" And so on and so on. I say,
17.
I got the majority of my caps playing while I was at QPR. You know, it was a real special time. We had a real good team, hence why I stayed so long. There were occasions where I could have probably slipped off a bit sooner, but I didn't, because the group of players I had around me, and I always felt I was learning, especially under Jerry. It was a great time. And
obviously now, you're still here as a director of football for the club. Obviously, hopefully trying to bring players like yourselves and other players who you said when you were playing, and obviously who are here now, try and get that same kind of feel again, I suppose. And you can only express to them how you were and how the other players who come back and talk to the younger guys and the team and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great to hear, mate. Great to hear. But thank you very much for your time.
Pleasure. No problem. Good to spend some time.
Appreciate that so much.
No problem.
Could I add a question?
Yes.
You just spoke about obviously playing for QPR, etc., and then you moved on to Newcastle. At the time, it was a part of your career. It was a crucial part of your career. You went on to much better things, joining other clubs. But you came back to Loftus Road shortly after. Tell me about the reception you got that day, because I've never seen anything like that in my life at any football ground ever.
Yeah. You know, when I came back, you know, obviously there was loads of emotions about the time I spent there. I've been there 8.5 years. You know what I mean? So there was always going to be loads of emotion, and you know, you often see players go back to a club, and every time they touch the ball, they get booed and stuff like that. So the first time I touched it, I was a little bit sceptical of what was going to happen, and then I remember scoring.
Yeah.
And you know, people say that when you score against your old clubs, you don't celebrate and all that, but it's a natural reaction, and I did celebrate, and I couldn't help it. It was just my natural reaction. I scored, and and I even saw some hands go up in the loft, like, you know, and they celebrated as well. And then at the end of the game, to have my name sung like that. Of course, I had my name sung like that when I played there, but at the end of the game, to have your name sung like that, I walked out of there. In fact, I floated out of there, thinking to myself, you know, sometimes you go, you give your best, and that's all it takes sometimes, to give your best somewhere. I think people knew that when I left there, it wasn't a case of, you know, oh, forget about QPR. It was, you know, I think at the time it was right for everybody. Some people are saying no, but at the time I think everybody would agree that it was probably the right time for everyone. It was good money for the club, and it was a good time for me to move on. But to get the reception I did was absolutely sensational. Yeah. Couldn't have asked for anything more.
I mean, you must have been here when Andy Sinton returned that day, and that wasn't a nice day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that wasn't a nice day.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that was a day I felt slight shame to be a QPR fan. Seeing the reception he got.
And that's what
but
I'm
the
saying.
reception you got, I say, showed the measure of you as a player.
Myself, Deejay Ranger with Celeste Ferdinand for QPR Fans and Players TV Home and Away. We're out of here. Come on, you Oz.